wanted to ask you something that you have to participate, and this is something, this is one question that I had, because not all the times we do classes only for subject sake. We should also go into your interview preparation, how you have to face interviews, how you have to take interviews, and how you have to approach interviews. So I'll give you a scenario, and I want you guys to, kind of feel free to add in, chime in whatever input that you can give me in brief sentences, not like a whole essay, just in brief sentences. So recently, I had this experience of a previous student who had interviews, and she's diligently applying for jobs, and she probably had 3 to 4 interviews. And she's a physician. She's a physician, and she had 3 to 4 interviews. So I kind of understand that she has some challenges in doing interviews, because normally folks don't take more than maybe 2 or 3 interviews to get a job. I mean, I always say, why not the first interview be your last interview? If you know the subject well and if you prepare well, you should be able to like kind of ace it. But that being said, we all being humans, we do some mistakes somewhere. No one is perfect, so you might take one more chance. But she did 3 interviews back to back, almost in a month, and then and in this, yeah, in today's circumstances, getting 3 interviews is kind of a blessing. So I asked her for the fourth interview prep, what happened with the 3 interviews, because she was more focused on her 3 interviews that happened. So I asked her what happened with these 3 interviews. She went on to say about those interviews. And then I understood where her challenge lies. So the question to you guys is, when you are in that, I'm not hoping that you're going to be on that sphere, but let us say if you had done 3 hiring manager calls, which are like initial phone calls, just to get your foot in the door and get a panel interview, which is pretty much the end of the interview process. What do you think? What do you think prevented her from getting the job? What are some of the things that you think she did wrong, or what are some of the things that you think you may do wrong that uh, will not lead you to a successful outcome? Maybe one or two. There are pretty 10 people or more on the call. So just use your imagination and tell me what would be some of the reasons why she did not do well in those 3 interviews.
I think probably behavioral questions, because subject wise, I think this course will be helpful to get prepared theoretical wise and practical wise. Could be or overconfident. Don't know.
Okay. When I hear the correct answer, I'll say yes. I mean, there is no wrong answer. As you can imagine, there is no wrong answer. Anyone can go ahead with any options, but I think there is a common thing that most people do.
So, in my opinion, so just answer the relevant question. Don't make the answer too big, and don't try to give the interviewer chance to ask more question.
Okay, so just be brief to the question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
Can I answer next?
Sure.
Okay, so if I understood well, usually the first question is tell me something about yourself. So on that part, it could be not as impressive or a little bit lengthy, or like not appropriate to the position being interviewed for.
Okay. This is not a trick question, guys.
I think
Yeah.
like when they're looking for the initial screening calls could be for just if you're fit for the position or not. So when answering such questions, if they're being hesitant to bring up their background experience and align with the specific role, that might be a hurdle for them to choose it, like probably. And how this person will fit to this role. They have to, it's not about this person will have enough knowledge or not. Um, it's, are you the best fit to push you to the next level. So
yeah. So again, I think we're kind of, I mean, thank you for your input. I think the question, let me kind of correct myself here. She did 3 interviews. There is a common mistake, a common thread in all the 3 interviews that she did that she was not able to correct right away. And I'm asking what might be, I mean, yes, your answers are great if she missed the first one, second one, but if you have 3 interviews back to back, you know, three strikes. So there should something in her personality that she needs to address. And sometimes these are blind spots. Until and unless someone points at you, you would not know your blind spot. So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to dig it out from this group, like what might be that blind spot. Yes, your answers are right for one interview, maybe the second one, and you're all hitting the right target, but at the same time there's one simple I would say uh, mindset approach that you need during the interview. So that's what
I
I'm looking at.
I think sorry, Doc. I think it has knowing that you have the knowledge, but the confidence to shoot. The confidence also matter when you're trying to explain who you are, your knowledge base. I think it has to do with confidence, because if you go through interview and you're still making mistakes, it means that it has to do with confidence. So,
Confidence, okay. Anything else, guys? People who did not have the chance to speak. Divya.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Okay, thank you. I think it's communication skills. No matter what you say relevant to the question, the confidence you show on your face, in your behavior while speaking, I think it matters most while interview. So maybe she didn't realize it. Maybe she is knowledgeable. Maybe she had good knowledge on the subject, but the time when she has to represent her knowledge, maybe she wasn't enough confident to show what she has in her brain.
Confidence, great, okay. Who
And
else?
communication skills. Yeah.
Preeti?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Confident, she wasn't that confident, might be on subject level, and of course the communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Eugene?
I would like to take another chance, like saying, like I would say why the company, like a little bit of research about the company if they would ask.
Okay. So guys who did not say anything, are you guys are driving or like feeding your pets? Let's wait for 30 minutes. Still we can wait 2 hours.
I'd probably say
Yeah,
not being teachable,
not being teachable. Okay.
or not prioritizing the circumstances, negotiating to, prioritizing negotiations with the hiring manager, or simply lack of marketing themselves.
Marketing themselves. Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay. Negotiating. Okay. Gayatri, Swati, Aishma. 3 people left. I'll put you on the spot. We are not moving into the module. If needed, I'll do the extra class on Wednesday. We can close the call after this.
Maybe because of the eye contact, sir.
Okay, you don't have to fall in love with your interviewer, but I take it. That's good.
Maybe they don't have a very amazing story to tell, because every interview, they expected you have a story to let them in.
Okay, storytelling, craft your story. Okay. Any other thoughts, guys?
Maybe another thing, sometimes they ask go through a situation in your real working life. So sometimes they understand easily if someone really worked or not, because if someone worked in real job, they can easily try to tell those incident or whatever happened in the job. That is another thing I can think of.
Behavioral questions, answering behavioral questions. Okay, get it. Okay,
Uh,
Doc. Last one. Go ahead, please.
Lack of flexibility in
Flexible.
terms of hybrid versus in-person setting,
Okay.
and lack of providing examples
Okay.
of what they faced. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Doc,
Yes.
I'm also thinking maybe they she didn't really discuss about, she didn't know much about the company and the company products. So
Researching the company that she's
yeah,
going to be a part of. Okay. I guess again, no answer is right or wrong here. I keep saying the same thing again and again. So let me just hit the three things for you to kind of ponder upon and kind of analyze it as you kind of go into your job placements. It would be better if you see this recording when you guys come to job placement, because every aspect that you guys covered very nicely, from confidence to communications to confidence, to prioritizing the answers, being brief with the answers, doing due diligence in doing their company research, negotiating, prioritizing circumstances, lack of marketing, all the things that you guys have mentioned are going to be there in every interview process. It is important. And to be precise, I'll kind of give you a cheat sheet for this. In our job placement assistance modules, if you see after your final assessment, we cover all this topic. Even what Yijing was telling about crafting a story, we do talk about how to craft your story. Everyone has their own personal story. You need to craft yours. It is your responsibility. And we cover all those 17, or I think 16 or 17 topics very nicely in a sequence. What you should do in a recruiter's call to a hiring manager's call. And we take you through the process and we take you through each of the challenges that we have in those modules. So if you have the time, as you keep going through the modules on a parallel track, I would recommend you to go through those job placement. There is no sequence to this. You can just go through them whenever you have the time. So you kind of get acclimatized to looking at it. That's number one. So the answers to everything that you guys pointed out very nicely are actually in those modules. There are like 15-20 minute modules. So it will kind of give you uh, uh, some kind of preparation towards it. Some may need it, some may not, but people who need it will take it from those modules. So that's number one. The real the fact behind this student and what I was looking for is outcome. That is what she was missing. Because when you go into an interview, you need to have an expectation for the outcome. You cannot rub the first interview's outcome on the second interview's outcome on the the third interview outcome on the fourth one. She's now on the fourth one. So when I asked her, what was different from first to second and third, she was the same. The interview has changed. And that is the reason why the result did not change, because she was thinking, oh, first interview, this is just my experience, let me take the interview. She did not do well. And second interview, she went into kind of a low point, I believe, from an approach standpoint. And she kind of thought, oh, I did not do well in the first interview, the outcome may not be that good, but I'll give it a shot. Giving it a shot and trying it out is great, but sometimes it doesn't work in your favor. And I'm very aggressive when it comes to kind of getting things done. And for me, if I want to go to an interview and if I am putting my time and effort into an interview with an interviewer, I want to give more than 100%. And I am okay to get disappointed and rejected for an evening if I don't get the job. But when I go into the interview, my mindset is I want to get this job done. I want to get it done. I want to make sure I go to the next round. So if you don't have that positive outcome expectation, because people don't want to have that expectation because they don't want to get disappointed. I think getting disappointed is okay. If you do your 100%, you don't get the job or you don't move on, but you need to make sure you have that outcome. So what she was doing mentally is she was rubbing the previous interview experience on the second one and the third one, and that is the reason why she was not doing well in any interview. And I told her straightforward, This is your blind spot. This is your personality trait where you have to curb yourself. You have to stop yourself from thinking negative and kind of taking every interview, every every day as a is separate, is different day. You can't say I had a bad week, so the next week is going to be bad. So you just have to take it the right word is compartmentalization, I believe. You got to compartmentalize your bad experience and kind of move on with the new ones to get a new result. So the outcome was not there. The outcome of expecting the outcome was not there. So you are also going to have this kind of situations sometimes where you have to expect, you have to do it. I'll give you my um, personal experience in this. My first interview was in Maryland back in 2008, 2009, I believe. So I did, that was my first pharmacovigilance job. I went to this company, I did my interview. I drove all the way from New Jersey to Maryland, almost 3, 4 hours drive. And then I was coming back. It was a Friday evening, and my interview was done at 12 o'clock. 9 to 12 was my interview. It was a panel round. I did a phone screen. Final round was 9 to 12 with like 6 people, half an hour each. So 9 to 12, I was done. From 12 on a Friday evening, I was expecting a positive answer. And I was driving back thinking, why is the recruiter not calling me that I got this job? That was my outcome that I was thinking. And why am I able to tell my experience to you is I prepared so well and I did my interview so well. I was so, I would say, impatient in getting that positive result. And someone told me, very close friend of mine, when I was talking to them, like, why these folks don't call me and say that I got this job? They said it's a Friday evening, Friday afternoon. No one is going to rush on you because you need a good news. So just calm down and come home, and we'll do something over the weekend, and you'll result probably on Monday. So I said maybe that's true. I'll just let it go. But by the time I came back home to New Jersey, I got the news that I got the job. I don't know if it is law of attraction. I don't know if it is me thinking the right way, but I think little impatiency is always good. But this person, even though she has the knowledge, and let me tell you one thing, folks, it should not be a surprise. The way the modules are done, the way we teach, and the way you guys are getting prepared for your knowledge side of this pharmacovigilance, you will not have um, doubts about your knowledge part. You will have every question answered if you have your mindset right, if you think about the outcome. So that's what I just wanted to kind of go over because I believe these are scenarios that will happen. Some of you may face it. You go through this yo-yo cycle, like you get an opportunity in interview, you do an interview, you don't get it, you kind of go to a low point, and then you again come back to a next interview. Try to stop that yo-yo cycle as much as possible. Stay consistent with your expectation, and it's okay to get disappointed for an evening, but next day morning when you wake up, you have to hit it hard. So that's what I believe in. Is that something that folks understand on the call? Is it too much? Because I know some of you are very new. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll
Yeah,
take
yeah.
one yes
Yes.
for the whole yes.
Yeah.
And so let's dive into this module. It will not take a lot of time, but what I wanted to share with this module is, instead of teaching you triage, let's do triage together. Let's do what happens 9 to 5. And if I miss any slides or anything, we'll be back on Tuesday. So we'll cover the slides on Tuesday if needed. But I believe you knowing how to do triage is more important than just going through a bunch of slides. So let's go into triage now.